And welcome everybody back to the match day reactions. We're going to react to this week, day 15. Of course, this week, Matt has gained even more points on me. And then the overall standings, Matt is beating me. Womp womp. But I will come back. I just got to get a tear going. And speaking of Matt, of course, again this week we have my friend Matt. Matt, how you doing this week?
I'm doing even better because I'm even farther ahead. So
rub it in some more.
We're gonna gain the lead again this week too.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Well, all right. Let's get immediately into the match day 15 that we have. First game, Nottingham Forest versus Brentford. There was a 2-2 draw. 2-2 draw in the game. And what a game. Matt, go ahead and talk about it a little bit.
All right. So there were multiple lead changes in this game. It was a pretty tightly contested contest.
Yes.
Even decided by an own goal in the 96th minute.
Yeah.
This is probably everything you wanted in a game between Nottingham Forest and Brentford. There was a decent amount of shot opportunities. Forest had the bulk of the chances on net, but Brentford was up to the task. They scored off a penalty. Actually, there were 2 stoppage time goals in this game, which
there were.
This is perhaps not the only team with the only game with stoppage time goals.
Yeah,
but I'll let you speak more on your experiences in this game, though.
Okay. So, a few things. First, I went on an emotional roller coaster because first and foremost, I had the game as Brentford was winning it 2-1. You had the game as a draw.
I did.
Yeah. So when the 96th minute an own goal happened, was I devastated? Because not only did I lose 3 points for the exact score, but then and then you gained 2 on me because you got your score exactly on a draw. Or you got a win on a draw. Oh yeah. That was the roller coaster that I had. The own goal was ridiculous, but good job. Good job, Nottingham Forest. Good dominance that they played. They played well. They did well overall. I only saw this was one of the games I only saw the highlights, even though it was a late night game. I was tired. I was exhausted. I was happy for we'll see about what a different game, but a good game. All I can say is good game, good playing. Brentford, you need to step up a little bit. If you don't, you're gonna be mid-table, and then you turn into Leeds, where you're barely making it next season. So, good job, Nottingham Forest. Brentford, stop doing own goals. Next game in the week, I have it as Wolves versus Brighton. Matt, what'd you think about this game?
All right, so I have been pretty proud of Brighton's form so far this season. I predicted them to win by 2 goals. You predicted them to win by 3 goals.
Yes, I did.
This game was closer than that. Full credit to Wolves.
Yeah.
I think they came out with a lot more desire and a lot more hunger for a goal than they did in the last many games. The first goal that Wolves scored was a very nice goal. A great run down the right-hand side. And of course, they got a penalty as well to go up again after being down 1-0. Shout out to Adam Lallana, who doesn't score very often, but did score a nice... It wasn't a beautiful goal, but it was a good goal. It was a well-taken one. But unfortunately, a red card for Wolves in extra time in the first half put them down to 10. And Brighton managed 1 goal in the second half, and that was enough. And it looks like after the red card, the ball was just all Brighton's because they had 72% of possession this game. But to keep it that close for that long, it took until the 83rd minute. I think Wolves will have some positives to take away from this game, even though they didn't get any points, because I don't know if they've scored 2 goals in a game this season. They may have won.
Yeah.
They may have one time. But Brighton will be happy with a win. Maybe not so happy with conceding twice. But
yeah,
to getting the points where you can get the points, right? You're not always going to win in convincing manner.
Yeah, I mean, so I had it as 3-0. You had it as 2-0. I was surprised they even got a goal, to be honest with you. Especially when Brighton scored quick. When Brighton scores quick and gets that lead, oh, it's like a tidal wave. And then they get a penalty. They go in, and it's like, oh my god, they had the lead in the game. Wolves have the lead against Brighton. I'm sitting there like, oh, heck yeah, because remember, Brighton is at this time in 9th place.
Yep.
And they're, holy crap, they're going to move up? Now they're going to move back down. Oh my god, it's like, whoa. So you're seeing that, and then all of a sudden, he gets a red card, and you're like, okay, just it's fine. Just hold off. You let a goal in. And you got a red card, just don't. And of course, Gross comes in and goes and becomes gross, right? Gets a goal, but you're right. Possession time was the key reason in the second half. I think Wolves did had a good game. I mean, 8 shots, 5 on target, all in the first half. So, good job by Wolves. I would say try your best to stop the red cards because that's back-to-back week red cards. So. Let's stop that. Let's keep the scoring going. Let's stop that, and then Brighton. Good job on going. You know what? Our opponent is weak. Let's pounce on them. So good on that. So nice job. On to the next game for the week, and that would be Man City versus Fulham. Oh man, Matt. I'm sorry. Let's do. I'm gonna do that again. Hold on. So the next game of the week is Man City versus Fulham. Holy crap! Man City won 2-1, which will put them in 2nd place. Fulham it unfortunately puts them down in the mid-table level. Down in 9th now. Matt, go ahead.
All right. So I only saw the highlights of this game as well, but judging by those and judging by the way that the events happened, so Haaland didn't start this game. He's been dealing with an injury lately. But Julian Alvarez, who is a younger guy, City bought him, I believe, last year, loaned him out to the team he was still playing with. Now he's full-time on their squad. This isn't his first goal in the season, and he scored. He gave them the lead. They were playing well. Until a player got sent off, Cancelo. I believe, was that also the penalty that the red card was for? No. So they had a red card and a penalty.
Yep.
Back to back, basically.
Yep. Like I said, I'll talk. When I talk, I'll go more in depth. But go ahead.
But so an early red card for a team like City is bad. And they got scored on from the penalty. But what's incredible to me is they had 71% possession of the game, even though they were down to 10 for 2/3 of the match.
Yep.
Fulham kept them from scoring until the very death of the game. And I'll let you elaborate on that on your turn.
Okay. All right. So I'm sitting here flipping out because, mind you, Man City loses. That's huge for Newcastle. That helps Newcastle a lot. Arsenal's going to make some slip-ups this year. I don't know when Man City's going to do some slip-ups. So when they do, I get really excited. It's a draw. And yeah, they get a red card. So Alvarez makes a beautiful goal. They say that his goal, the defender should have done something about it, but you can't stop that shot. It was a shot that basically was like, I'm shooting this up top. You'll go down and think that I'm going to shoot down by your feet, but I'm shooting it up. And you just pink right in. It was a beautiful shot. So what happened was Cancelo did the guy was cutting into the middle basically, and Cancelo inside or near the box did the like hip check almost thing, almost like soccer or hockey hip. Yeah, but he hit him on his side, and I thought you could do that, but I guess you can't do it too hard or too physical or something, to where if if you don't go, if you're not going to go after the ball, if you're just trying to box a guy out, it's illegal. That's the illegal thing. That's the call that they were talking about. So that's what Cancelo did. He hit him, boom, checked him into, like, to push him out. He fell down. He then got a red card for that, because the red card was for fouling a guy. What was it? It was fouling a guy who had a chance at net. So that was
like
why.
If you're the last guy,
that was it. Yeah, he was the last defender.
And you just foul them without taking the ball. That's a red card.
That's the red card. The penalty for that was the actual hip check. So that's what I'm saying. It was a little different, because he had to, like, VAR it, and then he was like, okay, yes, it was inside the box. It's considered a penalty, but the penalty had to be, like, almost. It was weird. It was almost had to be, like, it was a weird thing to see that whole thing. And that's why it says 28 it's a penalty, 26 and it's 2 minutes later.
Yeah, so it took a while.
Card, yeah, because he was on the field like, wait, I hit him with this check, blah, blah, blah. And so then they reviewed it and they checked it, and then the penalty. So it was about the same. So it was the same, but it wasn't the same. And as soon as that happened, Fulham was like, okay, we're gonna play. They got the goal. Had a draw at the time, but even then, I believe Man City didn't put Haaland out there, like you said, he was on the bench at the start, and it was 3. I think he did like a 3-2. I think it was a 3-2-4 set kind of thing.
Okay.
He just kind of was like, I'm just gonna play him out. And they had 71% because all they did was just keep the ball. It was a tick-tack. Like, I'm going to hold it. Okay, I'm going to pass it. I'm holding it. I'm passing it. Quick. Like,
yeah, they had 700 passes.
Yep. Yeah, and then the penalty that Haaland scored. Oh my God, I was so mad. If you see this, hopefully I can get the replay on here.
I think I can get it.
Oh my God.
It was a VAR check.
It was a VAR check, and you could clearly see Grealish falling down. Like, he's like, oh, and it's the weakest. Did he follow him? Technically, yes. The guy kind of, like, had his leg out, and Grealish kind of, like, flopped over and, like, fell down. But there's no way. I'm sorry, you're a $100,000 man? No, or $100 million man. I'm sorry, $100 million man? No. Your legs are way stronger than that. Yeah.
That's like $140 million.
Yeah, he fell down. He's like, oh, you could tell. No, it was a light. No, and then you had it. Yeah, that was bullcrap. They shouldn't have. Honestly, the defenseman shouldn't have stuck his leg out at all to try to get it. Just kind of leave it. But you come on, man. That was a stupid flop. If it was me, I would have said no. And that's just me coming. If I'm reffing a game, I'm going to try to be neutral as much as possible. I don't care if a team needs to win or whatever. Neutral as much as possible. I would see that and go, no, that's a card. That's a yellow card. I don't care. That's a yellow card, no penalty. He flopped down. But yeah, I was livid. I was livid because I was looking going, it's 1-1. Oh my God, it's 1-1. Oh my God, it's 1-1. And then I think I took my dog out, or I was doing another video or was doing editing, and I come back. And I'm like, wait, when did they score a goal? What the? No, this game was like in the 89th minute. What? So, yeah, I didn't actually physically get to see it, but it was one of my big games of the week. One of my big no-nos games of the week. I was really mad, so, yeah. Oh, so mad. On to the next game. We have Leeds United versus Bournemouth. Leeds won that game 4-3. Matt, you want to talk about this?
This was a wild game. Leeds were the better team, I would say, for the vast majority of the game. But this is the second week in a row that Bournemouth is finding goals.
Yeah. Against
teams when they don't have much of the ball, and when they're getting scored on. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really a good sign for Bournemouth. Unfortunately, they need to work on their defending, especially in the last 30 minutes of the match, because this is the second time that they've been winning. They were up 3-1 in this game, and Leeds
Yeah.
scored 3 goals from 60 minutes to 84 minutes.
Yeah.
Much like how they gave up a huge lead against Spurs. It's honestly like it's both like good but also really bad because they got no points from this game. This was an away game for them too. This was a great chance to snatch at least a point, but unfortunately they couldn't. Why don't you talk about the game by itself more though?
Yeah, I was only able to see the highlights, but it was a really, really good game. It was a sound game. They right at the beginning, a penalty. Boom, immediately. Beautiful, beautiful kick. I believe he made him go the other way. But it was a sound, beautiful kick. And I think that was his first or second goal of the year, Moreo.
Right.
And so he did really well this year. Good on him. And then you just all of a sudden Bournemouth just like we're gonna dominate this game, and it's just everything, just boom, 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 boom. Then they get everything going their way. They basically come out of the half, score a goal, and it was almost like their coach was like, "Okay, guys, we got a 3-1 lead. Let's play defense." And as soon as that happened, Team America comes in and just like, "Okay, we'll start scoring." And it was just stupid turnovers. That's what really happened. That was the biggest thing. Bournemouth had stupid turnovers. They would come downfield trying to score, trying to possess, trying to play like a big league team. Like, I'm going to play like Spurs, or I'm going to play like Newcastle, or I'm going to play like Liverpool. You can't play your style. And they messed up, and they gave that game away. They should have won that game. You have the crowd quiet. It's 3-1 at halftime. The crowd was really upset at that game, and they gave it up. They gave it up. Shame on Bournemouth. I hope this is learning policy to them, and they take that into stride.
They had some really nice goals in this game, though.
Yeah.
Like, their second and third goals were so nice.
Yeah.
And Leeds' second goal.
Yep.
Just like smashed it into the top corner.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good game to watch.
Yeah.
For sure.
This was one of those games which I was so devastated, and then I got like happy. But I was like, oh, cool, they're coming back. And then I got devastated again. I'm like, no, 68 minutes, you're going to tie this game? No. And then all of a sudden, 84th, he scores. I'm like, okay, good, I got a point. Because Matt would got 2 points off of that for it. So I was a little bit happier, but good game. Leeds, great job. I think that it's almost like an upturn for them. Great job by them. I'm really happy for what they did. On to the next game we got. Everton versus Leicester City. 2-0 for Leicester City. Matt, let's go ahead and talk about that.
All right, so first off, we both predicted this game to be a 2-1 win for Leicester City.
We did. Yep.
Everton did not score a goal.
Nope.
But it looked like they hung with them, at least possession-wise. Leicester also had 8 shots on target, so Pickford was busy. He's getting his reps in before the World Cup.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he couldn't stop all of them, but I think that's going to happen sometimes when they're getting that many chances. But yeah, Leicester City, maybe they found some form now. Maybe they're climbing out of the depths of the bottom of the table. They're only 2 points away from 11th, 5 points away from 10th. Anything could happen, but all those relegation fears, I think, are temporarily on hold, let's say.
Yeah.
Because they're finally playing a more cohesive game and more as a team. And they're getting the goals from the guys that they need to get the goals from. Harvey Barnes, I think I've been really impressed with Harvey Barnes ever since last season even. Maddison didn't score this game, but he played well. Tielemans doesn't always score. He'll also be happy that he's got a goal ahead of the World Cup. He's in good form for Belgium there. But yeah, good on Leicester. They went out and won, which it was also an away game. So it's a huge 3 points on the road.
In a very difficult stadium. I would say Leicester played very well this game. And you and I both even said that Leicester, I think it was like 3 weeks ago. Let me check. 4 weeks ago. Right before they got their win, they got a draw. And we were like, this might be the turning point. because at that time Leicester was in last place. They were about to face Nottingham Forest to try to move up in the standings, and we both said this is the game they have to win. They have to win this game because if they don't win, they're in trouble. But the cool thing is, we both even said, and I think you were the first one that said it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. They were facing teams that were like Liverpool, the top teams, Liverpool, Fulham, Man City. You know, they were facing all the big teams at the beginning of the year and going last place. And now they got all the teams that are near them in the division. And everybody's like, wow, look at them. Look what they... Like, no, they just didn't have a chance to get that rise up. So I'm glad they kept them. I'm glad they kept Brandon Rodgers at Leicester, giving them a chance, knowing that, you know what, you had a hard, rough schedule, some bad guys. Also, Pickford playing well for the World Cup. We have our rosters for the World Cup on. Go ahead and on the video right there if you want to see our reactions to those videos. We have it about Madison also making, so make sure to watch that video for England's pick. But great game, Leicester. You guys equal in possessions basically, and you still show pure dominance that you guys can score and you guys can defend well. So nice on them. Good job. On to the next game. Whew. I would say, if anything, this was my big game of the week. I know there's a later game that was bigger, but this was my big game of the week. This is the game that I was definitely looking at. Chelsea versus Arsenal. Matt, go ahead.
All right. So I just want to start off by saying I had a feeling that Arsenal would come in and take 3 points. This was an away game for them at the Bridge.
Yeah.
But Chelsea hasn't, this year at least, been extremely dominant at home. They haven't really... It hasn't felt like a huge advantage playing at home for them, which is unfortunate. But I think the team is just a little bit discoordinated. Like, they're not flowing well together. They're not finding their form. Aubameyang didn't even play all the game. Havertz, Mount, Loftus-Cheek. Nobody could find the net. And when you don't score at home against Arsenal, you're not going to win. I think the goal that Arsenal scored was a nice goal. I think they definitely deserve to win. Not just because they had more possession, more shots, those things, but they just, whatever it is, the eye test, they looked to be the better team. They were winning 50-50 balls. They were linking up better. They were making better runs. And it was like, I was skipping through the game because I was so I was so discouraged, basically, because I was like, is there going to be a moment where Chelsea actually plays like equal to Arsenal, even like not better, but just like the same? And there weren't very many. So my analysis is the better team deserved to win, as I kind of expected.
Yeah, we both said 3-1 was going to be the score. We had our moments on that, but we both said Arsenal was going to win, and it would have been a dominant win. I will say this: Arsenal showed something today that's kind of a weakness against a big team. They like to play defense. I know they had 14 shots, but 2 of them were on net, and you only got 1 goal because of it. Now, yes, Chelsea only got 1 shot on net, but the goal that happened, I will even say this: if you look at the goal highlight for it, hopefully I can get the highlight video in, but if you look at the goal highlight, it was a set piece. It was a set piece goal, and it was a corner, and the fans at Chelsea were, because the stadium the way it is, they were throwing, I don't know, papers or bottles or something, or something white. They were throwing it on the field, and it distracted the corner maker. So he was set, and then all of a sudden he had to like move some stuff away. And when he did that gave the players an extra couple seconds to move around. So Chelsea fans, you cost them the game with that throwing. Yeah, don't throw that crap again, because that's what's going to happen. You got them set in. If you wait too long, you're gonna give your players time to think some more. Don't do that. And they kicked it. He kicked it. It gave him another second to gauge what they were gonna do, and he kicked it beautifully. And he almost kicked it in the net. I would say that goal should have almost been him. I think it would have hit the post and would have gone in anyways. But it was a shot that went in. But oh my God, that game was just too tight. It was way too tight. And
both teams playing defense pretty much.
Well. And that shows Arsenal, because you've seen Arsenal when they got the draw against West Ham. They had like 23 shots and 16 of them were like on net or something. I mean, Arsenal is a team that when they know they can win, they're an Arsenal. Full out, let's go, let's attack. But when they play the big teams, this shows it. When you play a big team, I'm gonna play defense on the game. So, I'm glad that I hope Eddie Howe sees that. So when we actually face because we haven't faced Arsenal yet this year, so I'm hoping that because of that we'll be able to see it and be like, oh, okay, this is gonna be nice. So, next game is Aston Villa versus Man U. Aston Villa, big win, 3-1. Matt, go ahead.
So, if I am correct, this is the first game of Unai Emery managing Aston Villa.
You are correct.
The first game of the Unai Emery era is a win, and not just a win, but a win against Manchester United, who has been in pretty good form lately, and has been tough to break down, tough to score on, and just tough to beat overall.
Yep.
And Aston Villa went out and scored 2 goals in the first 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Leon Bailey's been really good this season, I think. He's had some clutch goals, had some very clutch play just overall, and United were a little flat. I don't think they were prepared. They were caught off guard maybe. They still had a lot of the ball, but I think if they get behind, that is when they struggle. I think they're great at playing even and ahead.
Yeah.
But if they get behind, and they were behind early, it's like, what do we do now? And their only goal was scored by the other team. So they didn't even put it in themselves. They'll definitely be looking at this game with a lot of things to improve. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so when I watched I only watched the highlights of this game. Maybe I was too scared to even watch the game or something, because Man United, if Man United lost, that game in hand that they had would lose the advantage. A game won basically just keeps that series going. There's a reason with Newcastle, and we'll talk about that in the next game. But Aston Villa did exactly what they were supposed to do. Come in, attack strong, attack hard, got a goal. Crowd's going wild. Get a goal right after. Crowd's even louder. I would say after that, 30th minute it took until that crowd was quiet. They just did everything they can. They pound. And I will say this though. The own goal that actually happened was right after halftime. So good on the coaching staff and Man United for coming out and going, okay guys, this is what we're doing. Do this, we're going to score. And they did that. But then they let a goal in. I was scared after they scored a goal. I'm like, here we go again. It's going to be a draw, or they're going to lose again. It's Aston Villa. But to their credit, they played well. And I don't know if Man U just underestimated their opponent, or they just, like you said, they just weren't prepared. But so many, I wish the statistics would show the turnovers, because it was a lot of turnovers. The passing accuracy, you see that? 85%, that's way too low. Man United should be at 90% at least. But the turnovers were huge. This takes Aston Villa to 13th place, when they were actually, if they would have lost this game, they would have been in 17th, one away from the bottom. So that really helps them out. Yep. And
I got a statistic as well.
What's that?
I have a statistic for you.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
last time that they beat Manchester United at Villa Park in the Premier League, they haven't always been in the Premier League.
Yep.
August 1995. That's
Wow.
27 years ago.
Yep.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and that puts Man U then in 5th place, 2 points behind, or 2 points ahead of Brighton, and 3 points behind Tottenham, with a game in hand, of course. So Tottenham, unless there's something weird like a 9-0 game or a 10-0 game, Tottenham will still secure that spot in 4. But that's a huge loss. That's a really big loss against a team that they should have beaten. So great job by Aston Villa. New coach coming in. Hopefully we'll get a video for you guys this week on it, on a little more about the signing on that, and good job by them, and good job Aston Villa on the win. On to the next game, Newcastle versus Southampton. Newcastle winning at 4-1. Matt, what do you think?
I think this is a really good season for Newcastle. They had that turning point, the moment in the season where you said they need to win now or else. Yeah. And they won that game by scoring 4 goals. Yeah. They won last week by scoring 4 goals. And they won this week. This is at least the fourth time they've scored 4 goals in a match. They've scored 3 once or twice as well. And they have one of the best defensive records in the league. Really, really strong showing from them. And the goal they allowed was in the 89th minute as well. Yep. I want to give a shout out to Joe Willock, who finally scored. I jokingly mentioned in a video a few weeks back that I thought he would score. And you quickly told me that he just doesn't score very much. But he did in this game. And good on him. Yeah, Bruno scored too.
Yeah, I'll talk briefly about this game because I was watching it. So I was trying to find it before we got to this video, but I'm looking at what's going on and how this game was portrayed and seeing how the feeling was. Again, if you guys watched my betting video, our extra time betting video, you would have won big, because again, another goal in the 30th minute, or by it 5 minutes or less. 5 minutes difference or less. The only reason it wasn't 30th minute was because of an injury. And when I say that, I don't mean like, oh yeah, because they got injured, they stood back up like a minute later. No, it was literally an injury happened. It took 5 minutes. It was set up by a set piece by Almiron. 2 kicks later, he I don't know how he even did it. He like went through a guy's leg and was like, oh look, I'm gonna go over it, side swiped. It was like a hockey player. Literally it was like a hockey player. I'm gonna move the puck around you this way, kick it in, boom, great goal. Halftime, unfortunately, Callum Wilson was the one guy who got out. I think I told Matt Trippier was the guy who was out, but it was actually Callum Wilson who got injured. It doesn't look like it was anything big. So Chris Wood came in. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm sitting here like, oh great, we got 1 goal lead, and then a downpour happened. And I'm like, I'm trying to find it right now, but I yell at Matt. Oh, I'm trying to find the day of, and I'm yelling at Matt, and I'm like, Matt, they're playing terribly. What is going on? Oh no, this is terrible. Newcastle's going down. And then right after, I'm like, goal! It was so funny. Yep. Because as soon as the rain came down, Newcastle gave the ball away, and they were making bad passes. They were doing terrible things. But then Chris Wood scores a goal. And to say a little bit to Willock, I'm glad he scored a goal. But his goal, if you check it out, it wasn't the goal he wanted to score. He kicks the ball, but you can almost see it like he pushes the ball into the net. It wasn't like this was a good shot where it goes up in the air, or it was a really fast roller. It was just I'm pushing it.
Oh, you know what? He beat the goalie though. That's what matters.
He did beat the goalie, and the thing was, I think if he would taken his regular shot, but I even said afterwards, I even tweeted afterwards, I was like, great job, Willock. Awesome goal. Way to go. Let's get some more. And he needed that goal.
Absolutely.
How many times he missed? And last week, he should have got 2 goals. He hit the post twice. and you could see it. But as soon as
He
that
almost
happened,
did it this game.
oh my God, as soon as that happened, everybody's embracing them, and you could see the brotherhood on this team. I love it. I love it. They're a great team now. And the biggest thing, Newcastle 3-0 lead, all of a sudden, which I think I had it as, did I have it as 3-0? Yeah, I had 3-0, so I was like, yay! And then, of course, Southampton, 89th minute, oh, we're going to score a goal on you. And that peed off us. Honestly, we would end the game 3-0 and been happy. And we came out and we're like, no. Bruno came over and was like, no, bro. As soon as they scored, Bruno gets the ball, goes up the middle, does a cut in the middle, outside the box, takes a beautiful shot, hits the corner, and it's just like, I'm going to the World Cup because of this. Boom. And he, of course he gets...
That's really nice goal.
Yeah, it was a beautiful goal. So great job by Newcastle. 4 shots on target, 4 goals.
They didn't have a lot of possession comparatively.
It was because, like I said, Southampton did really well during when it downpoured. It downpoured, and I was like freaking out to Matt. I'm like, Matt, this is bad. Oh my God, some things are gonna happen. And Southampton, they played really well in the rain, and it slowed Newcastle down. That's the worst thing you can do, is slow Newcastle down. And it played right into Southampton, but Newcastle came out and was like, all right, we'll still score on you, and they did. So great job Newcastle. Southampton, unfortunately, because of this loss, they lost their coach. We'll be doing a video later on this week on what happened and the new coach that they picked up. Congratulations to him. I think it's very deserved, but like I said, we'll get a new coach. Or Southampton's going to get a new coach this week. On to the next game that we have here. It's going to be West Ham versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, big win, 2-1. Matt, what'd you think about the game?
I think that this was a tight game, that either team had chances to win, but Crystal Palace, Wilfried Zaha, I don't think he scored in a while. He finally got a goal. That's great for his confidence. I think West Ham would have liked to had more this game. I think they definitely were lacking in just chances, possession. They were missing something. Disappointing too, because some of their players are looking forward to the World Cup, such as Declan Rice, and really would have liked a stronger showing for that. This was another game though that was decided in extra time of the second half.
Yeah,
there were a few of those this week, and
it screwed me. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and so Games predicted the draw. And I predicted the West Ham win, so that was gone. That was not happening.
Not only the draw, but the 1-1 draw too.
That's the second one that you had the right score until an extra time goal.
Both games would have been the right score, and everything. Oh,
that's like a 6-point flip right there.
So mad about that.
For me, yeah, you would have like jumped up like 4 more points than me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, great for Crystal Palace because they're not in the depths anymore. They've separated themselves from the bottom half a little bit. They're 3 points up with the game in hand on 11th. And I'll let you share more about the game particularly though.
Yeah, only saw highlights, but West Ham played decent actually. I know the score shows that they lost the game, but they actually played pretty well. They had a good start to the game like they needed to. It was at home. The bubbles were out. They played just really well. It's that second half. They just started almost after they got scored on. You could see like some kind of motion where there's like, no, we're not well. We're not going to play well or whatever. And they just wanted to play like a defense. They're like, we'll take a draw. We will take a draw after that happened. And good on Zaha. He has not scored. I was actually going to say that too. He hasn't scored in a bit. Great goal by him. And then I'm sitting here like, yes, I get some points, and then all of a sudden a goal happened, and I am just devastated again. I am losing points because people want to be jerks. You think to yourself, if you got the goals and you got the points, boom. And Another thing is, if you guys are Americans, there's an app that's an NBC Predictor app. What you could do is you could predict the games. It's a free app. You predict the games for free, and if you win, if you get all the games right and the exact scores right of some of the 5 games that they give you, or the 6 games sometimes, if you get those right, you get 10 points for those. If you just get the game, if you win the game, if you're like, okay, no, you got it, but you didn't get the score, you get 4 points, and then 0 points, of course, for the loss. And that was one of the games, and I had it. I wrote down, okay, I have 1-1, so I wrote a 1-1. I'm like, yes, 10 points, because guess what? I would have won 26 cents, and I lost it, and I'm so mad at that. So not only did Matt pick up points, I lose points, but I lost 26 cents, and Matt, you owe me 26 cents then.
No, I don't owe you anything. Did you see that last goal, by the way?
Yeah,
the winning goal for Palace?
Yeah.
That's just an ugly deflection.
Yeah, I
that
know.
went off the defender's leg and still for the goalie. Like, that is the worst way to lose a game, I think.
Yeah, this is why I was flipping out, but whatever. It is what it is. I'll win my $1 million. No, it's no, I think you get $1 million for it if you get.
Who cares about 26 cents?
Yeah. Who cares about 26? I do. Anyways, on to the next game and the last game of the week. It's Tottenham versus Liverpool. Liverpool, big win for them. It puts them up to 8th place. Tottenham in 4th with that loss, and it moves Newcastle officially above them to secure, because of the equal of the games, by 1 point into 3rd place. Matt, what do you think about the game?
All right, so I watched bits and pieces of this game.
Okay.
I was kind of tuning in and out. I think Liverpool came out strong. They generally, I think, under Klopp, if they have a bad performance, it's kind of like with Pep. They come out the next game and they show up.
Yeah.
And I think they did that. They had a not so great performance. And in the last few weeks, they've had a few pretty poor performances. They've been really good in the Champions League, but domestically it's been kind of rough. Yeah. But this was a chance to prove it. This was a chance to say, the Spurs are a team in the top 4 right now. We can beat them. Salah scored. Really, really well played by him. He had a great game. Both goals, very nice goals. And they were holding up 2-0. And I remember watching this game like, Spurs are pressing. Spurs are like getting chances. If Spurs make it 2-1, that's the score I picked. And sure enough, in the 70th minute, Harry Kane scores. And you know how they like run over and grab the ball and run back to the middle?
Yep.
I was just thinking, I don't think they're actually going to score again.
Yeah.
It seems like this year Spurs play pretty well from a losing position.
Yeah.
But from a winning position, they don't play well at all. Or at least they don't hold leads nearly as well as a lot of the other bigger teams.
Yeah.
But this game, they were behind, but I think they still played pretty well. Mm-hmm. And they had their chances. They converted on one of them. Unfortunately, they were already down by 2. And they just couldn't find that last goal. They had definitely lots of chances. Tightly contested game. It was a good match. But good on Liverpool for winning. They'll be really happy with that.
So I made a note in my notebook while you were talking. I was listening, but I had to make a note in there for a video idea, and it's going to be what is going on with Liverpool, because let's lose against Nottingham Forest, but let's beat Tottenham. It's like, what? I would say this game should have been a draw, though. Dyer made a huge mistake against Salah. You don't. Something is up with Salah where I don't know what it is, but he almost like he got paid. He's a great player. That part I'm going to leave out. I'm going to leave in is that he's an amazing player and he's good and he can score whenever, but you don't give Salah an open shot down the middle. That's back-to-back weeks or back-to-back big games. Man City, how was that goal scored? Down the middle, big pass. He hits it down the middle, chips it over his head. How was the second goal scored by Salah? big shot down. Dyer hits it in the air. It rolls backwards on him, and the center defenseman, he picks it up, flips it over the goalie's head. You don't do that a lot. Like it's dumb. It's really, really dumb. Shame on all of them for doing that. That should have been a draw game. Good on Liverpool for coming back and scoring. But I think almost if Tottenham had another like 10-15 minutes, I probably think they would have draw.
I think so.
Did you happen to see the yellow card that Tottenham's coach got?
I did. It
oh
was
my God.
Honestly, I don't even think it was
Why?
that. I don't even think he did anything really that. He was just like, oh, like, why did you make that call? And they're like, nope, yellow card.
No. Did you actually see what he physically did?
I did not.
Okay, so this is what happened. The ball went out of bounds. It was sometime in like the second half, so they needed to score a goal. He rolls like down the hill. So he's chasing it down the hill to where everybody's going to the locker rooms. Doesn't see that his team actually got another ball from a ball boy. So he picks it up, and they already had the ball, and they're throwing it. They throw it out like a quick throw, and he gets the ball. He goes to pick up the ball. The assistant coach from Liverpool picks it up, has the ball in his hand, is looking around for a ball boy to give it to, and he comes over and he smacks it out of his hand, and he's like, "Give me that ball!" Oh yeah, and that's why the yellow card came out, because he physically abused another coach from the opposite team, so he got the yellow card for it. And it's like, wow. Yeah, it was. You need to see the highlight reel for it. It's really insane.
And this isn't even the first card he's gotten this season.
No.
He was sent off in another game.
He was. Yeah.
And he has a lot of passion. I will give him that.
Yeah,
I watched him manage Chelsea for a while.
There's no excuse for assaulting somebody like that. No.
Well, and he had the thing with
Yeah.
Was that the thing with Chelsea's manager at the beginning of the year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they like shook hands and they were all like freaking
grab
out at each other.
Yeah, and they were
Like,
they were having
he's always getting into it, right?
the intense love passion. I don't know what that was about. But
I mean, a lot of that was on Tuchel, I think.
Yeah.
Even from the Chelsea's perspective,
Still.
he was a little salty. But Chelsea deserved to win that game, which we won't even talk about.
But that gives so for the end of the week, that gives Matt 10 points, gives me 6 points. Here are the final standings for the season. Hopefully I can come back. This is the last week, guys. We're gonna react to the next video. In our next video, we'll do the reactions for the week 16. And that'll be the last until the World Cup. Big games that week. I'm really excited. But until next time, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time with some more Premier League.